Hello guys and welcome to a new video. In this one I will show you how to turn this photo into this. So without any further ado, let's the fun begin and jump into Photoshop. First, let's drag this beautiful car, and with the help of the pen tool, I extract it from the background. I just fast forward to escape the boring work. Then I found this amazing sunset image, put it as a background and try to find the perfect position according to perspectives. Like you can see, I decreased the opacity of the car so I can see through windows. Don't worry, it will make sense later. The next step is turning our car into red color. I will use just a red solid color in this case, then change the blend mode to vivid light and start painting. Then using pen tool, I removed the glass in the back and I did the same thing with windows on the left side. After this, using solid color, let's install our new glass, and to finish this step, I just paint the roof and the right side of our car with solid color again. So move on to the next step of this compositing, which is adding our model to the scene. First thing, like it's obvious, I extracted from the background using quick selection tool, then I just refined the hair a little bit, but don't worry, I will fix it later. The second thing to do is to find the perfect position and size to our model. Like you can see, I'm trying to make the doors and windows as references in this case. Next, using exposure, I've tried to reduce the highlights of both car and girl, then I just try to match the color with our background using color balance adjustment layer and change the blend mode to color. Well, at this point I just paint the shadow of the model on the car, and next, using solid color, change the blend mode to linear dodge add. I've tried to paint the rear light. Paint highlights on our model, I used solid color, changed the blend mode to divide, open the layer style box and break it apart from the shadows, invert it and paint. At this point, it's time to fix and paint the hair. I duplicated the layer in case it messed up, rasterize it and start painting using smudge tool. I like her hairstyle, so I used the original photo to follow and paint over it just to keep the same form and look. After this step, I added an empty layer in order to fix some parts and add more details to the hair. Then to add variation of highlights on our model, I did the same thing with the base highlight I did before, just one difference here, I used a brighter color. At this point we can't move on without painting shadows on our body. To do this I just use solid color, pick a color from the shadows of the car and start painting. You can always decrease the opacity of the layer if you think it's too much. Then go back to the hair to paint brighter highlights. You know that lights reflect on hair in different levels, so the more details you add, the more realistic the result it becomes. And now let's install the front chair to our car, and like I did before, I just fixed the perspectives, try to find the perfect size of the object, then with exposure I've tried to match it with our scene. After this process and at this point I found that the model should be a little bit bigger, so I just did this and move on to the next step, which is reflections on the back glass and windows. Like you can see, I just used the photo of the background, tried to change different blend modes, increase and decrease opacity, and try to find a perfect position to look realistic and natural. So we can say the key word for this step is just experiment it. Well, now it's time to add spices to our work. I go back to the rear light and paint more details to it, then paint the highlights coming from it and reflect it to the bumper and the ground. Back again to the model to make it brighter in some parts, like I did before. After this, by adding another solid color, change the blend mode to linear dodge, I paint a little bit of glow on the bright part of the sky and change the color of the sky to something bluish in the dark side of it. To make it more compact and realistic, I added another solid color layers above everything and paint a little bit of glow. Then I painted a little bit of red reflection on the foots of the girl, just using solid color again, and try to change different blend modes and see what suits better. After this I added a little bit of glow to these backlights, and this will add more sense to the red reflections on different elements. At this point I said why not adding a little bit of smoke coming from the exhaust and see what it does. And I think you can see clearly what this small detail add to the photo. And in the end, on an empty layer, I just paint a little bit of haze to merge everything together. Later, using camera raw, tweak and change some values, color grading, and this is the final result. So I hope you like this work and this video, and if it did, sub to the channel and following me on my social media would be a great support for me. Thanks for watching guys, and I hope I will see you in the next video.